All right, guys, since today is Tuesday, well, no, we got to do homework. So in your agenda books, I'm going to click on the homework tab, or button, I should say. All right, for Tuesday, your homework says, study the notes you completed in class today. Quick check Friday. You have a quick check on Friday over the notes you're taking today. So today, y'all are going to be learning about Civil War leaders, the leaders of the Civil War. And so you'll have a quick check on Friday over that information. So be sure that you review them and you're ready for your quick check on Friday. All right, so everybody should be writing this down in your agenda book. Why do I have to write it down, Miss Brett? You have it on your internet. You have it on your site. Well, what happens if Canvas crashes? What if Canvas crashed or your internet went down, or I don't know? Okay, so writing it down, that's what these agenda books are for. Writing it down is muy importante. Okay, that way you are able to refer back to it. I was hanging out with a friend of mine this weekend, and her kid is in the 5th grade at Britt David, and she was saying how he had forgotten to complete 2 assignments, and it was because he wasn't writing it down in his agenda book. So be sure that you write your homework down in your agenda book, so that, you know, I'm the type of person, I like to scratch things off once I complete it. There's nothing more satisfying than taking my to-do list and drawing a line through it. Like, and I do, like, I will take my pencil and I will, like, you know, because I'm happy that I've marked something off my to-do list. So use your agenda book for that, for like a to-do list. Okay. So your homework tonight is to study the notes you complete in class today. Quick check is Friday. Friday. All right. I'm going to go back home. At this point, you should have your computer screen split. Remember, that's Alt and the right bracket. I would recommend having your screen where your Zoom is set up. I would have that at speaker view. That way you're not seeing all of the distracting movement that's going on right now. I don't have mine in speaker view because then I wouldn't be able to see all your precious faces. But having it where you can see everybody, that is very distracting, because I'm telling you right now, I have ADD, and seeing what I see in some of my classes, people picking their nose and eating it in front of the camera. I'm like, have you no sense of decency? Like, why would, if you're going to dig your nose and eat it, do that in private. It's just nastiness, you know? Like, I understand needing to dig the bug, you know, if you got a bat in the cave and you got to let it out, okay. But just don't do it on screen. Get a tissue. Save the snot snack for later. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to digress there. All right, so that was a public service announcement. If you don't want to see other people picking their nose and eating their boogers, put it on speaker view, because I can promise you I will not do that while we are Zooming. I stopped doing that a long time ago. All right, here we go. Today's Tuesday, so let's take a look at what we're doing. All right, we are going to complete Leaders of the Civil War notes. All right, so how to get there. All right, you're going to click on modules. Modules. Remember, modules are your digital binder. Everything you need right here. That's your interactive notebook for the Civil War, okay? You're going to click on Leaders of the Civil War. And it's going to say Load Leaders of the Civil War in a new window. You're going to say, okay, you're going to click it. And you shouldn't have to authenticate. Nobody else has had to do that so far today, because of last week you authenticated your Cami. So it should be good to go. Now, this is a little bit different because it's circles. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of advice. All right. You need to go ahead and choose your font size. Font size 16 is pretty good. You may have to resize it later on, okay? But to start off with, font size 16 is good. I like the blue font. okay? When I come over here and I click inside my circle, we're going to start off with Abraham Lincoln. So when I click in there, it creates a text box. And I like to use the bullet list, okay? I like to use the bullets. So remember last week we had to maximize our Cami screen, and you do that by clicking on the double boxes in your upper right-hand corner on your internet. Okay, that'll make me go a little bit smaller, okay? And then you find your bullet list icon, and I click it. Now look at that. Do you see how it moved it so far away? Yeah, I'm not feeling that. So I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna move it closer to the edge. And this is where I'm gonna type my notes. Now, you're looking and you're probably thinking, Miss Ray, you are totally not in your circle. Okay, that's fine. After I'm done with my notes, look at what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab it in the corner and I'm going to resize it. All right. Now, my font it's still too big. So look what I'm doing. I'm just picking it up and I'm moving it. I may need to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to highlight and I'm going to make it 15. Oh, it's not going to let me. Dadgummit. Undo. Undo. All right. I'm going to highlight. And I can't do 15, so I'm going to do 14. And that makes it fit just fine. Okay, and then I'm going to click my button in one of my other circles. Okay, so go ahead and decide what font you want, what color you want, and all that good stuff.
You made it.
I made it in the sorority!
You're invited. You've been invited.
Y'all, look! Beta Delta! I'm a Beta Delta! Beta, beta, beta! Yay!
That's the reaction we want everyone to know.
Beta, beta, beta! I'm so excited.
We'll get to wear them tomorrow. We'll talk about the secret handshake and password and all that.
We got to come up with an AEK to be something like that.
Yeah, we need to figure out when our first social is and all that.
Okay. Yay! I'm so excited. Thank y'all. I'm so excited. We are so weird, aren't we? Yeah, look, we are, just to kind of spice things up at Britt David a little bit, because it's kind of a little bit blah since y'all aren't here. We did Rush Week for sororities. And Britt David is not a sorority, but thank you, Sophia. It's not a sorority, but we're just trying to get new t-shirts for Britt David and whatever. I still get excited over t-shirts and I'm 42 years old, whatever. Okay, don't make fun of me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right, here we go. So hopefully you have your font picked out, your color. You know how to get a bullet. We're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to open up my notes. And I'm going to make it big. All right, so hopefully you are able to see Abraham Lincoln's slide nice and big. All right, now. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. All right. Where you have your bullet, you're going to type the first sentence. He is best known for leading the Union to victory in the Civil War. Now, some of you might be like, I'm going to be lazy and I'm just going to put he was president of the Union. Well, if you're lazy and that's all you do, on Friday's Quick Check, I made Friday's Quick Check look just like these notes. Okay, so it's in your best option, it's your best choice to type everything on here, and it's just 2 sentences. I don't understand why some people are lazy like that, but anyway. All right, so in the Abraham Lincoln circle, be sure you're in the Abraham Lincoln circle. It's yellow up at the top, and you'll type, he is best known for leading the Union to victory in the Civil War, period. Don't forget, we are using proper grammar rules. We are capitalizing proper nouns. We are starting off our sentences with capital letters and ending with a period. But Miss Bray, this is social studies. Okay, I know. You're still supposed to follow grammar rules. After you put the period after Civil War, you're going to hit the enter button, and it will automatically give you your second bullet where you can type, he pushed for the freedom of all slaves. Abraham Lincoln is best known for leading the Union to victory in the Civil War. Yes, he was the president of the Union, but guys, when you're a president, that also makes you commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Okay, so even though he didn't fight in the Civil War, he was the commanding officer. He was over the Union's military. Okay, so he is best known for leading the Union to victory. Okay, and you may be saying, how is that even fair? He didn't even fight. Well, he's the one who chose who the commanding generals and who the leaders were. And you have to, you know, choose wisely so that your military is successful. He's the one that had to declare war first after the firing on Fort Sumter. Okay, he was in charge. All right, now, and also the second bullet, he pushed for the freedom of all slaves. So make sure that all of your words fit in the Abraham Lincoln circle. If you need to resize, whatever you need to do so that it fits nicely in there. And we're going to watch a video about Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know how I am when we watch videos. I like to pause them. I have to also pause my videos so that I can post this on YouTube. All right, guys, so now we are going to look at the Jefferson Davis circle. Okay, so go ahead and click in there and make your text box appear. Go ahead and if you're using the bullet list, maximize your Cami screen, click on bullet list option. If you're not using that, you can make asterisks or little stars by hitting Shift 8, holding down the Shift and the 8 button. That creates that little star. All right, here we go. Jefferson Davis. He is best known for being the president of the Confederate States of America during the Civil War. He is best known for being the president of the Confederate States of America during the Civil War. Be sure that you are capitalizing proper nouns. Be sure that you're spelling things correctly. Be sure that you're starting off with a capital letter and ending with a period. If your notes go out of Jefferson Davis's circle, make it fit. Notice Jefferson Davis circle is green. All Confederate leaders, they're green circles, and all Union leaders are yellow. That's kind of a way to kind of make it, you know, so that you can tell who's who, okay? All right, we ready to watch a video on Jefferson Davis? No? You're just typing one sentence. He is best known for being the president of the Confederate States of America during the Civil War. All right, we ready? Okay. come on, you know you're going to play. Oh, I got to pause my recording. All right, so Jefferson Davis was arrested, and he was tried. He was arrested and placed in jail for 2 years for the crime of treason. You cannot turn against your country, especially during wartime. And you're going to see that a lot as we go through history. There are several instances where people are tried and found guilty for treason. He was never put on trial. The United States just decided to let him go and count his 2 years in jail as his punishment. All right, next we are going to turn our focus on, now that we have talked about who the leaders were, who the presidents of the two parts were, I want to talk about the commanders, the generals, the military men. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is one of the greats, Ulysses S. Grant. So you're going to find Ulysses S. Grant, his yellow circle, because he was a Union leader. Click inside Ulysses S. Grant's circle to create a text box. Maximize your Cami screen so that you can click on the bullet list option. And these are 2 sentences, okay? So the first one, he is best known for being the lead general of the Union troops during the Civil War, period. And then you'll hit enter and it'll give you another bullet. He was given command of all the U.S. armies. I'm going to talk to you and give you a way to remember that in just a minute. My snack of the day, by the way, is a little Reese cup. I love them. He is best known for being the lead general of the Union troops during the Civil War. He was given command of all the U.S. armies. That's a big deal, and I'm going to explain that in just a minute. All right. Make sure all of your information is in the circle for Ulysses S. Grant. And I'm going to give you a tip. Okay, Caroline, stop. All right, so Ulysses S. Grant. So look at his initials, U-S-G. Okay. He was a general that was given command of the U.S. armies. Ulysses S. Grant, U.S. He was a general that was given command of all of the U.S. armies. Now, saying that does not mean he commanded the Confederate armies, okay? Remember, during the Civil War, the Confederacy and the United States, they were 2 separate countries. So Ulysses S. Grant didn't have command over the Confederate soldiers. Okay, he just had command over all of the United States armies, and that's a big deal, guys. Okay, Ulysses S. Grant was a stud. He was the man. He was a very, very, very good leader. He was the leader that Robert E. Lee had to surrender to at Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. Okay, so Ulysses S. Grant, he is best known for being the lead general of the Union troops during the Civil War, and he was given command of all the U.S. armies. Okay, now the video we're going to watch, we're not going to watch the whole thing because it focuses mainly on him serving as president. Ulysses S. Grant did become president way after the Civil War was over. And I don't want you to think of him as president of the United States, okay, because we're looking at him during the Civil War time. I want you to look at him as the general, as the leader of the Union troops, okay?
Ulysses S. Grant, our 18th president, was a great general.
All right, so this guy we're talking about next is the South's equivalent to Ulysses S. Grant. So here we go. Robert E. Lee. All right, so find Robert E. Lee's circle. It's green because he was involved with the Confederacy. You're going to click inside Robert E. Lee's circle. Maximize your Cami screen. Get your bullet list option. And all you're typing are the 2 sentences in black. There's some words down at the bottom of your screen that are written in white. Those are just notes for me because I'm old and I will forget what I wanted to tell y'all if I didn't include that there. Okay? All you're typing are the 2 sentences that are typed in black. So first bullet point, Robert E. Lee, he is best known for commanding the Confederate Army of Virginia. He's best known for commanding the Confederate Army of Virginia during the Civil War, period. Then you'll hit enter. He was given command of all the Southern armies. So eventually, he was given command of all the Southern armies. Like Ulysses S. Grant was given command of the U.S. armies. Robert E. Lee, he is best known for commanding the Confederate Army of Virginia during the Civil War, and he was given command of all the Southern armies. Now, Robert E. Lee was born and raised in Virginia, and Abraham Lincoln came to Robert E. Lee and asked him, "Will you please be the leader of the Union Army?" And Robert E. Lee said, "I can't. I was born and raised in Virginia. I cannot not be loyal to Virginia. So I'm sorry, I can't do that." And so he became the general, one of the generals for the Confederate Army. Now, when the war was over, Robert E. Lee had lost his citizenship. So they took his United States citizenship away from him because, just like Jefferson Davis, he had committed the crime of treason. He had turned his back on the United States, and he had pledged his allegiance to the Confederacy. That is a big fat no-no. You don't do that. You do not do that. Robert E. Lee did. And Abraham Lincoln had a soft spot for him. He understood why he was loyal to Virginia. And so even though he had lost his citizenship, he eventually was given it back. All he had to do was place his hand on a Bible, hold up his right hand, and pledge to never turn his back on the Union again. And he was given his citizenship back. But up until that point, he didn't have any of the rights of a United States citizen. He couldn't vote. He didn't reap the benefits of being in the Union because he turned his back. And and led the Confederacy during the Civil War. All right, here we go. The next person we're going to look at is a guy with an amazing, he's an amazing leader, Thomas Stonewall Jackson. Now, Thomas Stonewall Jackson, he got his nickname Stonewall because he was adamant that he was not backing down from an enemy. And in the middle of a battle, he was face to face with Union forces, and he stood there. He would not back down. He would not walk away. And one of his soldiers pointed to him and said, "Hey, look over there. There's Thomas standing like a stone wall," because stone walls don't move. And that's how he got his nickname, Thomas Stonewall Jackson. So you'll go to your green circle for Thomas Stonewall Jackson. You'll click in there, and all you're typing is that first sentence. You're not typing the other two sentences. All I want you typing in your Thomas Stonewall Jackson circle is the very first bulleted list. Remember, you have to make your Cami screen large so that you can click on bullets. Thomas Stonewall Jackson. He is best known as a war hero and one of the South's most successful generals. And that's all you have to type. He is best known as a war hero and one of the South's most successful generals, period. Now, he's remembered as a military genius. If any of you ever go to a military school, like if you decide you want to join the armed forces, okay, and you go to West Point or any type of military training, they will reference Thomas Stonewall Jackson. His war tactics are still taught in military schools to this day. He was an amazing, amazing general for the Confederacy. Now, a sad thing happened with him. He actually died because one of his soldiers accidentally shot him in the arm. It was a total accident. It was a freak accident. And when he got shot, he didn't die from his gunshot wound. He died because back then, if you developed pneumonia, which is a respiratory disease, if you developed pneumonia back in the 1860s, they didn't have the medicines needed to properly treat it. And so Thomas Stonewall Jackson didn't die from being shot in the arm. He died from having pneumonia. He developed pneumonia. And some say that he developed it because when they were trying to give him numbing medicine to amputate his arm, when they were trying to give him numbing, something to make him not feel the pain, he breathed in some of the liquid, and when liquid gets in your lungs, that's not good. And that's how the pneumonia set in. Okay, so yeah, really sad. All right, last but certainly not least was a man that wreaked havoc on the South. His reign of terror started in Atlanta with his Atlanta campaign, where he ripped up all of the railroad tracks, and he didn't stop there. He continued on his march to the sea to Savannah. We are talking about no one other than William Sherman. So click in the yellow circle for William Sherman. All right, click in the yellow circle for William Sherman. You'll want to maximize your Cami screen so that you are able to get your bullet feature. And then start typing. You're typing both of these sentences. I know it looks like a lot, but it's only 2 sentences. William Sherman, he is best known for leading Union forces in crushing campaigns through the South. Period. Then you'll hit enter. He captured Atlanta. That was the Atlanta campaign, and led the march to the sea, where he and his men wreaked havoc from Atlanta all the way to Savannah. tearing up and burning down and destroying everything in their path. Oh, sorry. William Sherman, he is best known for leading Union forces in crushing campaigns throughout the South. He captured Atlanta and led the March to the Sea. And he is given credit for weakening the Confederacy so very much because remember, by destroying the railroad tracks, he cut off the Confederacy's ability to get supplies that were necessary for war. And so because they couldn't get supplies needed for war, the Confederate soldiers, they were very weak and unprepared. That is what ultimately caused Robert E. Lee to realize, yeah, we're not going to win this war. All right, resize your text. Make sure everything fits inside the William Sherman circle. If you still need to see this, just stick around, but hold on, I want everybody to look at something real quick. All right, from your Cami screen, okay? As long as you click off to the side, like after you've moved your text around and you're done, when you click over to the side, it automatically saves it on its own. You don't have to do anything. It's like Google Slide. It saves your work for you. Just be sure you click over here in the blank space, okay? And that prompts Cami to save your work. So now, if you're finished, all you have to do is come up here to the X and exit out. Once you have all your information inside the circles, you just come up and exit it out. All right? For those of you who are not finished and you need to stick around, I'll put that screen right back up. Okay, but everybody else that's done, you are free to go. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Now it's supplement clock time.
Hannah said hi.